Okay, so now I will give the floor to Dinesh Ban, who is the managing partner of the world's biggest leading venture capital platform. And now he's going to give you a masterclass. A big applause to Dinesh.
The last 18 months, every time when I spoke about fundraising or different technologies, AI, quantum computing, mobility, at the end of my speech, there were at least one, sometimes two, three people at the Q&A who asked the following question. Will 2023, we will see a dot-com crash 2.0? So in order to save some time for you and for me, let me try to answer this question first. So the short answer is definitely no. This is not dot-com crash. But what we'll see, we will see a year of slowdown and polarization, especially between early stage and late stage and between good and bad companies. Now, if you look at this graph, this is global venture dollar value came in, let's say, since Q1 2021 until Q3 23, right? So we can see the trends. I mean, anybody who's in the startup ecosystem have seen the trends. The good news is, I think, if you see here, that it looks like that we actually hit a plateau, okay? So there is some optimism. Very important that we're talking about money coming in. This is nothing to do with valuations, and we get to valuations in a second. So what we see on the market, that it's very difficult for late stage, high burn companies to raise money. We see a lot of down rounds. We see much fewer IPOs, although, again, there's optimism because in the autumn we already saw 2 IPOs, so it looks like maybe IPO market is waking up a little bit. But term sheets are pulled, negotiated. We see that there is a lot of extensions on extensions. I don't want to go into it's a technical term, but basically that we see that companies are getting saved by their own investors. So we actually don't see yet the real valuations. But I think what we're going to see soon is this. Unicorns will turn to unicorpses. So, as Scott kindly mentioned, I've been a managing partner for the last 10 years for one of the world's leading venture capital platforms called OurCrowd. We deployed over $2 billion into almost 400 companies. We looked at close to 18,000 companies. And having the gray hair, to see all these trends, my advice is the following. I think there is still a disconnect between the private and the public markets. Public markets are already priced probably 20% up or down, and please make sure that in the disclaimer that nobody takes advice from me on the public markets. But what we see here in the private market that I think we haven't seen anything yet. I think you have to prepare for the next year because really fundraising tech winter will come in the next 6 months. So I'm not sure what kind of stage you guys are in. I understand from the organization, the organizers, that you guys are a lot of founders here, CEOs who are trying to raise money and trying to build companies. But I really think that fundraising, whatever stage you are in, should be your #1 mission critical task now, even if you have money in the bank. Fundraising is your #1 mission critical task now. So I must say that I developed this masterclass not because I wanted to, but because I had to. I had to because most of my companies, even my portfolio companies, have been terrible at telling the story. Now let's see if it's working. Let's see, we have a video here. So having been a judge probably 100 times, TechCrunch, etc., I'm afraid this is not so far from the truth. Anybody knows where this is from? Oh, it's Silicon Valley, great. Obviously, this is a parody, but this is not far from truth. So the point is that startup CEOs and founders they are not able to express their story in a compelling way. And there is still a lot of money out there. We talk about hundreds of billions of dollars out there waiting to be invested, but you must get investors excited. You have to build a story to get investors excited. So I must say I'm a little bit challenged here, because although I've been doing this masterclass probably hundreds and hundreds of times, but my typical masterclass takes 1 or 2 days. The shortest ever done is 4 hours, and now we have 45 minutes. So I'm gonna go pretty quick, and I will need your help because I'm gonna make you work. Fundraising is a numbers game. It's a numbers game, just like any sales activity. Just like when you prepare your product launch, you have to prepare your fundraising launch. If I reverse engineer it, what you want at the end of the day, if I start from back, reverse, money in the bank. That's what you want, money in the bank. In order to get money in the bank, you will have a final meeting with the investors. And then it will go to IC, investor committee. Hopefully you get a yes. Before that, there will be many, many meetings. I'm just jumping to the second meeting. Before the second meeting, there will be a first meeting. And in order to get a meeting with an investor, there are many ways to get leads. You need to generate leads, fundraising leads, investor leads. If I really simplify, this is obviously a simplified slide, but so here is, you can do emails, you cold email, you can do networking, like this, after my discussions here. Then you will have word of mouth intros, warm intros. You have pitches, pitching days, just like you saw in the video. And then you have social media, LinkedIn, etc. So the first question to you, which one do you think has the highest conversion rate? Any thought? Which one has the highest conversion rate from all of this? Warm intros. Warm intros. I agree with you, right? Again, the numbers are indicative. But let's say if Zoltan introduced an investor to me, I'm going to be polite. Imre introduced me, I will be polite. Even if I don't agree, I will take likely the meeting, okay? Let's say it's 70%. 7 out of 10, you get it. What's next? Which one has the highest conversion rate after the warm intros? I agree with you. Good. Networking. If you got networking out here, you come up to Imre or Zoltan and you get an investor, you change card and it works well, the likelihood that there's going to be a good follow-up. Let's say 1 out of 10. What's next? What's next? Which one? Social media? I think pitches. I agree. If you go up in a TechCrunch pitch, you get exposure, right? It's the best way. Now, if you're terrible at pitching, you got 0. But the chances that there will be somebody at the end says, hey, that's interesting, okay? Still, not a high conversion rate, but there is. Next one. Email or social media? Which one has a higher conversion rate? What do you think? So I think it's email, right? Still, if you write a good email. If you write a good email, there's a likelihood. The opening rate will be, I just put there 0.2. It could be much less. Depends how you write your subject line and how, but there will be an opening rate. And then I think social media, I mean, worst in LinkedIn. I got like probably every 2 hours, 50 LinkedIn. I don't even open LinkedIn anymore, right? It's terrible. So if you look at this, then you get your first meeting. Congratulations, you're in the game, right? Now from the first meeting, you want to get to the second meeting. Let's say, still, again, indicative, it's a, 2%, 5% chance, yeah? Then you get second meeting, third meeting, final meeting, and then final meeting, you get money in the bank. So all I try to cover today, again, I mean, my workshops are usually 2 days long, But I'm going to try to give you a couple of tools that you can directly implement when you go out. There are investors and startups here. So I want you to be successful when you leave the room. So we're going to talk about the networking pitch, how to get the conversion rate up. Okay? So, first question. What are you pitching for investors? Now think about it for a second. What would you say? I don't want you to say anything yet. But just if I put you on the spot and says, Zoltan, Imre, whatever, what do you actually pitch to investors? What would be your answer? Because you are not pitching a product. You are not selling tech. What do you think you're pitching? Any thoughts? Sorry? Yourself? Okay, yourself, nice. Exit potential, problem, the business, thank you. Profit, vision, okay, great. I disagree with all of you. Okay? You are pitching a financial opportunity to a risk manager. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember this. You are pitching a financial opportunity to a risk manager. We investors, venture capitalists, we may speak about we do the big talk, we are the new kids on the block, and talk about crazy technologies and how much risk we take with entrepreneurs and how much light they put X, you know. But at the end of the day, we are money managers. And I want you to think like that. How do you pitch to a money manager? We are risk managers. We're managing other people's money. So you are pitching me a financial opportunity, and I am managing money. It's very, very different than all of this, okay? So I want to do a little exercise for you. Basically, again, financial managers, risk managers see two clear categories: risk versus reward. Risk versus reward. That's it. It's so easy. And what we want to do? We want to reduce risk, and we want to increase reward. So every single thing in your pitch, whether you have 30 seconds, 7 seconds, or at 2 hours, it should play into one of these buckets. If it's not, take it out from your presentation. It's a waste of time. Now, here are a number of things I want you to think about. Which one is which? You have a paying customer. What does that do to me? I'm the investor. What does that do to me? Will that reduce my risk or increase my reward? How many thinks it's risk? Reducing risk. How many thinks it's increasing reward? Okay, good. I like that. I think it's reducing risk, right? When you have paying customers, that means somebody has already validated that you have actually built something interesting. So that will give me confidence. It reduces my risk. I have no idea how much you're going to sell out of this, but at least, you know, somebody bought it. That means they confirm that you built something. TAM, total addressable market, huge total addressable market. Risk or reward? Correct, reward. Having a huge addressable market, you are going into a $100 billion market, great. That is a huge reward. Will you make it? I don't know, but I like it, that you're trying to disrupt the big market. Founder's background. Correct. It's risk. Passion. You have great passion. The founder has great energy. Risk? I think it's passion. I mean, it's reward. The founder's background, you worked at Microsoft or you worked at, you know, this company or that company, that reduces money. But if you have passion, oh my gosh, this person will go all the way, right? Attractive deal terms. So I think it's both, all right? Attractive deal terms is both. Reduces my risk, increases my reward. Now, investors' portfolio alignment. Hope you know what it is. Investors portfolio, meaning my company that I'm having pitching, the investor has a similar company in the same industry. What does it do? Absolutely. 99% of funders don't do the homework. Do your homework. Whoever you pitch, find out what the investor's portfolio looks like. Because if they have a company, they like obviously not competing. It's a no-go, right? But if they have a similar company from a similar industry, it's great because it's much easier for them to do diligence and they can cross-sell. No funders do the work. If you just go out with one, just to remember this, I guarantee that your conversion rate will increase. Okay? So obviously you can do all the others. I'm not gonna run through it, but it's a great exercise. Put every single thing. I put it back so you can take the picture if you want. Go through all of them. I can put in 20 more variables. Put it in, left or right. And if it doesn't go to anywhere, if you're not sure, take it out. Okay? Now, I'm gonna turn back to your questions. So what are the most investors looking for action in practice? So somebody said you, and I like that, right? The number one thing we look for is you, right? But you is a little bit general. What do you mean you? So I like to use the word integrity. Integrity that I can trust you. And I think Zoltan, you spoke, brought a lot of great examples, FTX, Theranos, WeWork, etc. We see these companies who have the best storytellers, some of the best storytellers in the world. If I can't trust you, and the trust comes from a gut feeling, I will not write a check. You see some people do. And FTX, and they brought in the best, most sophisticated investors. Temasek, Sequoia, the whole array, SoftBank, etc. The most well-known investors invested with these three companies. But trust comes from the gut. And here is a quote, probably the one and only Warren Buffett. He says the following: we look for three things when we hire people. We look for intelligence, we look for initiative or energy, and we look for integrity. And look at how he continues. And if they don't have the latter, meaning if they don't have integrity, the first two will kill you, because if you're going to get someone without integrity, you want them lazy and dumb. Okay? Says it all. And it says it all, Zoltan, for your presentation, I think, right? That's it. You want them as lazy and dumb as possible if you don't have integrity. Right? So, what's number two? So, I think many of you said profit, this and that. So, I like the profit. Obviously, profit is a very important, especially because we are financial managers. But I would like to call it promised land. And not just because I'm from Israel now, but because I would like to call it because every investor is looking for different things. Right? If you're investing first of all, personally, I am wearing many hats. I'm personally investing my own money, but I'm also investing for OurCrowd, and I'm also managing an impact investment for one of the biggest Asian families. Each of them looking for different things, and you don't know what I'm looking for. On my personal capacity, I take high risk, and I look for a home run, and I know that 90% it will be a failure. When I'm managing other people's money, my risk reward is much thinner. So your job is to understand what my promised land is. So that's why I call it promised land and not just profit. Corporations don't care about profit. They don't want to lose money, but they want access to technology, right? The third thing is capability. Can you actually deliver? So these are three things. If I really simplify it, obviously there's many hundreds of other things, but these are the three main things that most investors look for. Now, what's the challenge? You can't just go up to the networking, during the networking and says, hey, you were also, you can trust me, and I can take you to the promised land, right? And sign here, here's the deal terms. You can't just close so quickly. That's why we build stories. The art of the pitch, the reason that we build pitches, the reason that we build stories is for this, to convey these three things without directly saying it. Whatever you say should convey one of these three things or all of these three things. That is the art of the story. So, do we have a little, I will give you a little worksheet to do. Camilla, or whatever, do you mind maybe just sending it out? And I would like you to, I will make you a little bit work, okay? So while you getting the paper, let me give you what this is, okay? Maybe just wait 30 seconds until everybody gets it. If you want pens, we will give you pens. So, every entrepreneur in a simplified world needs to develop 5 pitches. 5 pitches, okay? Maybe just wait for another 10 seconds. All right, everybody's good? Can we go? So, 5 pitches. You will have a sales pitch. Again, from going in reverse. You have a sales pitch, which you do it when you sell your product. You will have a first investor meeting, whenever you get the first meeting. You will have a TechCrunch pitch. Many of you will be on stage and doing pitches. You will have what I call a networking pitch, which you will do outside. What is the first one? What's the first one that comes in front of this? Elevator pitch. Thank you. Perfect. Not. Good call, though. It's not the elevator pitch. What is the first pitch that you need to do? I hope I didn't scare you now. No, nobody's going to say anything anymore. Okay, I like that. That's great. Nobody ever said that. I'll write that. I'm trying to remember it. So I would call the first thing, I would call the opener. And in a second, you will understand why. How much time do you have for an opener? Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, this is a very advanced group. I like that. 99% of the times, I have 60 seconds, 90 seconds. The lowest, they go to 30 seconds. Okay, good. So I agree. It's 7 seconds. I might think it's 7 seconds. But before we go through this, I would like you to fill out the form. So here is how it's going to work, okay? So the first column is time. Put in how much time you have, okay? The second thing is where you do it. Where or when do you do it? What circumstances? The third is, what's the goal? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? The next one is, what should be in it and what should not be in it. So let's give you 6-7 minutes and don't write big stories. I just want 2-3 words, and it's for you, it's not for me. I'm not going to collect it or give grade on it, but it's for you just to put in one or a couple of words that really tells you the answer. And what I suggest is to do it horizontally. So start with the opener, then the networking pitch, TechCrunch pitch, invest, and if you get to the sales pitch, great. If you don't get to the last 2, it's okay. You have like 6-7 minutes. Go for it. Okay. Let's go for it. Okay, I already kind of revealed it, but so what time you put in on the opener? Right. 7 seconds, right? Anything more than 7 seconds is a total turnoff. I cannot tell you thousands and thousands and thousands of times in a networking pitch, somebody comes up and it's just right, just tells me the whole story. There are this revolutionized new product that we are trying to. I already turned off. I turned myself off. I don't even know what you're talking about. Right? You need 7 seconds. whatever that is, that's 7 seconds. When do you do it? Obviously, at an introduction. What is the goal? What is the goal of the opener? What did you write? Sorry, attention? Great, like it. Get the first meeting. You're good. If it's 7 seconds, you get a first meeting. I'll do whatever you do. I'll follow you. Okay. Make a good first impression. So I wrote to get permission to tell your networking pitch. Listen to the words very carefully. To get permission, not because you need permission. Obviously, permission is a quotation mark. So that the other person will let you, that you get permission in him to, that you can tell your networking pitch, which we get to in a second. What should be in it? What should be in it? Whatever you wrote. Anything, I'm not sure why it's becoming like this, but whatever you will hopefully it's going to work. Anything for you to get me to tell me more. Tell me more. Or you want to hear that the other person, whatever you say, it says, tell me more. Somebody said, conversation. The only person who said, oh, okay, whatever you said, tell me more. What then? And what should not be in it? Everything else. Everything else should not be in it. I'm not sure that works in English, but right? So now you get to the networking pitch. How much time you have a networking pitch? So I think, again, there's no right and wrong here, right? But let's say you have now 60 seconds. Somebody tells you, hey, tell me more. Now you have 45 to 60 seconds, but not more. Not more. Again, 45 to 60 seconds is a very long time to talk, to do a monologue at the very beginning. Okay? When do you do it? After the opener. What's the goal? What's the goal of the networking pitch? What do you write? What do you write? Okay, like that? Got a business card? Yeah. So I agree with you. Conversation, get into a normal conversation, or says, you know what, I don't have time, but here is my business card. Let's set up a meeting, a call, whatever it is. That is, you have 7 seconds, then you have 1 minute. In 1 minute, you need to be prepared that the other person will give his or her business card. Okay, what should be in it? What should be in it? So I think a very, very simple and exciting story. And look at the 2 words I'm using, simple and exciting. Whatever exciting is. And we're gonna do a little work on also what exciting is. Okay, what shouldn't be in it? Everything else. Nothing else should be in it. No vision, no product, no technology, no how much this and that, but the simple and exciting story. Okay, let's look at the TechCrunch pitch. Just like those in the video. How much time? It's usually the TechCrunch pitch between 5 to 7 minutes. Let's say it's 5 minutes. Where you do it, obviously in the pitching competitions. What is the goal? What is the goal of the pitching competition? What is the goal? Okay, I like that. So I think want to learn more. That after my pitch, again, this was my company pitch, you go down, the investor will come up, hey, here it is, here's my business card, call me up, right? Let's set up a meeting. What should be in it? What should be in the TechCrunch pitch? You have 5 minutes. What did you write? Again, the beauty with fundraising, and this is a disclaimer, is that fundraising is both art and science. I should have said the disclaimer at the beginning, right? Art part, I cannot teach. Art is, there is things right, FTX, I say integrity is the most important thing. People invest in biggest fraud people, right? There are things which, and he didn't even have a pitch deck, right? So people can raise money totally out of the box, things that which I would think and nobody would think work. And then there are people who do everything correctly by the book and they can't raise money. What I want to teach you is the science. the science. There is a pattern recognition in fundraising. And if you follow that, whatever you do, I guarantee one thing. I'm going to increase the conversion rate. That's what I do with my companies. And we have done it for hundreds of times. We have raised over $2 billion. If you follow the science, your conversion rate, zero conversion rate times 2 is still 0, right? But if you have 1 out of 100 or 8 out of 10, I don't know what your conversion rate. Yeah, if you follow these instructions, I will guarantee to increase your conversion, and that's what we are here for, okay? So what should be in a TechCrunch pitch? What will give you the highest conversion that people will come up to you? This is interesting. So I fight this with my founders so many times, but I think nothing more than you and the potential. And technology in depth should not be in it. And we are disagreeing. I had this fight hundreds and hundreds of times, okay? Hundreds of times with the founders. Technology, likely, if you want to explain it in depth, there is an 80% chance that people will get turned off and will not. Not that we don't care about technology, but you will not be able to tell it in a 5-minute speech, especially because you're going to have 10 more things that you have to say. If you can tell your technology in 30 seconds that people understand, go for it. But most of you cannot do it, including me. So, you got to your first investor meeting. Usually, these days, you don't have an hour. No, before that. True. We're going to get here. TechCrunch pitch. What's your number one most important slide? Which is your most important slide on your TechCrunch pitch? Think about it for a second before anybody else says it. What would you say? Don't say it, yeah? Now, anybody? What's the number one? What's the number one most when you are doing a TechCrunch pitch? Is it good? Yeah. Me, you, about you. Team, you, right? Very good. What else? Problem, okay. What else? What's your most important slide? Potential, okay. I want to hear 3 more. 3 more suggestions. Solution, good. 2 more. Help me so that we can continue faster. 2 more. Sorry? Traction, great. Traction, important. Sorry? Why now? Why now? Uniqueness. I think none of those. Oops. Ladies and gentlemen, I lost without the slides. Thank you. So I think your most important slide is your first slide. Your first slide. And I put money on it that 95% of this crowd, or any crowd, this is how your first slide looks like when you go and pitch. Now, I know the day, I know where I am, I know you are presenting, and you just wasted 10% of your time. Right? Remember when somebody called me up, the first slide was on. That's going to be the first slide that everybody will remember. Right? And that's most of the time that you're wasting. And this is 90%, 95% of the founder's first slide. Total waste. Think creatively. How can you get your first slide? Because that's the one that's going to be staying up most. You see, we have a crowd of 100x people. Nobody thought the first slide is the most important. Which slide is your second most important slide? Good. You listen. Great. This is how 95% of the founders' last slide look like. Thank you. Thank you. And usually there's a Q&A. When we won TechCrunch pitch, many of you know the story with Pocket Guide. And when we had the TechCrunch pitch, we did the five minutes pitch, and then the jury was asking questions. That's the slide was up. I'm not saying that this is the slide, but that's most founders. Yes, so we're going to ask the answer. Again, total waste of space. Total waste of space. Think creatively, because this is what stays with us, the investors, the audience. Don't waste it. So, the third biggest issue is this. PowerPoint is not a horizontal version of Word. Like to remember that. So many founders, we just write long sentences because PowerPoint is not a horizontal version of Word, okay? It's called PowerPoint, okay? And presentations. So, investor meeting. Usually investor meetings now, you don't have 60 minutes left, only 30 minutes. Where you do it, one-on-one first investors. What's the goal? What's the goal of the first meeting? I like that. Next meeting, good. Don't know why these things are moving, but get the second meeting. Nothing more. It's the second meeting. Now here, I would like you to remember the goal with both the TechCrunch pitch and the first meeting is I would like you to think like it's a video game. I just try to give you tools that you can use when you go back and do your next page. Think about it's a video game. The video game idea is that you don't, when you come in, it's a long time, last time I played video games, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, there are stages, there are next levels. You have level 1, level 2, level 3. You can't save the princess without tools. You need to have armor, you have to have sword. You can't go in with, you know, just boxing your hands. And every level, you're gonna get the next. So that's how you wanna think. You don't wanna close. Founders think that, oh, here's an investor, this is my opportunity, I'm gonna tell the whole story because the chances that if I say more, I'm gonna close, the conversion is gonna be higher. No, it's actually lower. Less is more. Think it as a video game. Just get into conversation. Once the conversation, get the first meeting. Once the first meeting, all you wanna do is your second meeting. And think about, don't forget, these are the 3 things that you are have to tell both the TechCrunch pitch and the investor meeting. The first investor meeting, all you need to come out is this. Hey, I trust this guy. There's a promised land here. I don't know yet what it is. And I think he has the team doing that. When the person, after the first meeting, or after the TechCrunch pitch, or after a networking pitch, all I want to think, I don't know what it is yet, but I want to give this person another chance. I want to go in depth. That's all you want, and that's how you have to build your story. Now, what should be in it? Everything. Everything. Now you can put in everything. But 12 minutes. Now you think I'm crazy. 12 minutes? Didn't you just say 30 minutes? Let me show you how a meeting's going to happen. So, how many of you had this issue? Zoom issues. You're doing a meeting, the person comes in. Zoom issues. I come into meetings, not because I'm a bad person, but almost all the time my meetings go long. I come in 3 to 5 minutes late. There are Zoom issues. You already lost 5 minutes. You have to think about that. Then it's going to be 2, 3 minutes icebreaker. Where are you? Who made the introduction? Okay, I hope you're doing the math. Now you want to finish up with a wrap-up, follow-up. Hey, okay, so shall I open up a data room? Would you like to see more? Do you like to talk to reference? So you have to spend 2, 3 minutes. How many, where are we now? 8 to 10 minutes, right? 6 to 8 minutes. You already have lost 6 to 8 minutes, 22 minutes left. And here is the key. You want to get into the discussion, 10 minutes discussion ASAP. Because you don't know what my promised land is. Again, think about it. If I'm looking for my own personal money, I don't have time to do diligence. I don't look at technology. I don't look at financial models. I look at you. I want to hear who you are. I invest mainly early stage. I like great funders that I trust, write a check, and I know that I write off the money immediately. I know I'm going to lose the money. Hopefully not. But that's how I invest my own. When I manage OurCrowd, I'm a financial manager, and you don't know what I'm looking for. So you want to get into that discussion. Some famously, Sequoia, Kleiner Perkins, etc., each of them had very, very different criteria. One of them looked for Tom. They all looked at $100 billion plus total addressable market. The other person looked at technology. You don't know what my criteria is. So don't tell me things that are not relevant to me. Now, if you reverse engineer it, you have 12 minutes left, where you have to put a little introduction about yourself and your deck, which means you have 12 minutes for your pitch. How many times it happens when you come in and pitch, and you think you have 28 minutes? I have sat in hundreds of pitches where the founder spoke for 25 minutes. 25 minutes. I'm not kidding. Now, maybe you're advanced, you do 15, 20, 12 minutes. Now, how many slides is this? I really don't care. Usually say 12 to 15 slides, but I don't care. If you can make it in 10 minutes, you can give 50 slides. I have seen 50 slides, bang, 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 like this. Tell the story quickly, with passion. People ask me which slides to put on. You can look it up on Google. I don't want to, but here is a great summary. 500 startups thinks 11, and this should be in it. Guy Kawasaki, Sequoia. So you can take a picture, look it up. It's on Founder Institute code. These are the 4 important pitch decks. So you can do whatever you like. I don't know what your company does. Every company has a different style. But one thing for sure is this. Times are very different today. In 12, 18 months ago, this was the typical, you do purpose, problem, solution team. That's 90% again of the founders tell their story. This is the purpose, the problem, the solution, this is what we are, this is the traction, and blah, 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 and this is the ask, how much we raise, thank you. Right? That's how the story goes. Today, investors don't have patience. Anybody knows what FOMO stands for? Fear of missing out. Thank you, Kara. Yeah, fear of missing out. 12 months ago or 18 months ago, the business climate for venture was called FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody came in. That's why we have all these crazy valuations. Anybody knows what it's called today? JOMO. Thank you. It's called JOMO. What does JOMO stand for? Hold it. What does JOMO stand for? It's called joy of missing out. That's how investors, we don't care. We wait. In 6 months, your valuation can likely going to come down with another 50%. So you have to tell me, why now? Somebody said it at the end. I liked it. Why now? Why now I have to listen to you? Immediately in 30 seconds in the pitch. I always kind of compare pitching with, I think, correct me, Tinder, you know, the dating app. What is the dating app in Budapest? Rendezvous. Okay, Rendezvous. Okay, and I don't know how it works. I'm very happily married, thank God. I've never been on it. But Tinder is like you swipe left or right. You see a picture, right? You like it, right? Don't like it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know left or right. But that's how we investors think. We think like on Rendezvous. Look, next, next. Next. That's how we think. You have 5 seconds, 10 seconds to get my attention. If you get my attention, I will give you another 30 seconds. You get my attention again, I give you another minute. Time is my biggest constraint. I don't have time. And somewhere there among you, there's a unicorn. I want to find it. After 2 minutes, out. Next. Not because there's anything wrong with you, I just don't have time. That's how investors think. So why now is super important now. Here are 4 very important trends, what's happening, what's different today than 12 months ago. Get to the point. We don't have patience. This is from DocSend. Anybody who has DocSend? DocSend is Dropbox way to upload. They have millions of data points looking at what investors looking at DAX. So this is a great way to see what investors look like. 19 slides is now 16 slides. Next, show me the financials. Very, very immediately, after 30 to 60 seconds, you have to tell me the story why you're going to make money. How you're going to make money. And not just revenues. What's the path to profitability? I have to see profitability in 2-3 years. Or at least I want to see how you think. Next point. Why now? Because why now and not in 6 months? I wait 6 months, I put money on it, that you're not going to raise money, I take the risk. There is 100 more companies around you. Why I have to, Mr. Dennis, I'm sorry, if you don't invest now, you will never have the opportunity to invest with me. Convince me. 4, cut the BS on AI, okay? Every company today is AI. AI is gone. 2 years ago, go for it. Today, sell AI, okay? Go for quantum or whatever it is. But AI, you have to prove what real AI is, okay? So, Last line, sales pitch. How much time you have? 30 minutes. Where you do it? One-on-one with clients, right? What do you want to achieve? Trial or buy? What should be in it? Last question to you. What should be in it? I don't hear it. Technical? Okay. Any other? What should be in it? I'm sure I'm very scary. Most people at the end usually don't shout any answers back because they know. Added value? Profit? Reward? Okay. Again, I'm a client. So maybe again you guys are a little bit too advanced and too good for this class. But basically what you see is 80% of the time somebody says the value proposition. My value proposition. Have you heard the word value proposition? How many have word value proposition? Okay, good. So that's the wrong, that's the 20th century expression. In technology, we don't look at value proposition. Some of you said, I liked it, the pain or the problem you solve. Customers, especially with technology, want to see the pain you solve, the problem you solve. And what should not be in it? I don't think technology should be in it. Customers do not care about technology. In appendix, you can put it in. In appendix, by the way, when you have 12 to 15 slides, even if you do an investor meeting, you can have 50 slides in the appendix. Oh, you care about financial opportunity? Okay, let's go. You want me to talk about the technology? Oh, let me open it. You have everything. But I don't think clients really care about technology. They want you to tell me what is you solving my problem. I want to leave you with one more Jolly Joker card. And then, if you have time, we can do some questions. I call them validators. This is your Jolly Joker card. This is the most important Joker card I want you to work on if you want to raise money. What are validators? Validators, anything that makes the investor feel comfortable. Anything that makes me, the other side, feels comfortable. What is a validator? What's the best validator you can have? If you come to pitch me, what is the best validator you can have? Sorry? Exit, previous exit? References, okay. So obviously the best is that you have another fund lead. Somebody is leading my investment. Now, I don't know who is the best fund manager here in Budapest, but if in the US, if we are raising $10 million and Sequoia put in the first 5, you got my attention, right? Oh, okay. You got my attention, okay? What's the second best validator? Is that you're a serial entrepreneur. Hey, I just sold my last company for $50 million to Google. I'm working on this new deal. I just bootstrapped it. Now I'm looking for $3 million. You got my attention. You got my attention. What's the third best? I think you have real traction, both revenue and high growth. Not just traction, but real high growth, right? If you have these 3 things, you will raise money. I don't think you will raise money at 2021 terms, but you will raise money. Now you may say, Dennis, thank you, but with all respect, this is not helpful for me, right? How many of you have any of those 3? Great. With your talk. Can you give me a business card? Yeah, how many of most, and I was in your shoes, I was an entrepreneur also. We didn't have any of those 3. We still been able to raise money. Why? So I want you to think creatively. If you don't have any of those 3, which most of us don't have, then I want you to do the work and think about what other things can investors relate to. What can I relate to? What gives me validation? It can be anything. I just give you a couple of examples. I don't know you. I don't know what you have. But it could be, did you put your own money in it? If you tell me, hey, I put in all my savings into this, I know you will be there until the very end and the last minute. If you did before, you were, hey, I just left Microsoft, I was a product manager, and I realized there was this big issue that I wanted to do it my own. I took my savings, I raised money from my family and these 2 angel investors, and now we're coming to our first institutional fund. You got my attention. That's it. It was 4 seconds. Did you hear my story? It was 4 seconds. You got my attention. Did you win any awards? you must win an award. If it's not a TechCrunch, if it's not Sequoias, if it's not YC, then you won an award, your mom gave you an award. We're not going to remember. I won the Békés Csaba ping pong competition in 1993 when I was 7 years old. I don't care. Come up with an award that you won. Obviously, don't say that. But any award that can give me some kind of validation. And did you sign a POC? Well, we just signed with Telecom or Telecom a POC. They are looking at it and they are very excited to sign. Okay, again, it's a validation. Anything, any outside validation that will give me comfort. That's your work. That's what you need to do, and that's what that is the core that you put into your opener, to your networking pitch, that you put into your TechCrunch pitch, investor meeting, whatever it is. So with that, I don't know if we have time for Q&A, but I'm happy to take 1 or 2 questions. If you want to sign up for my, I have a fundraising blog that I'm opening, then you can scan the QR code and you can sign up. Otherwise, now you know how to do a last page, maybe, right? Send an email, LinkedIn. Thank you so much.